video. This video is going to be a reading vlog while I'm on vacation. So me and my family are currently on a 2-week vacation, 1 week in Michigan and the second week in Tennessee. Right now we're currently in Michigan. We're in a small little town called Petoskey. Actually, technically, we're in Harbor Springs, but we're mainly here for Petoskey. Me and my mom come up here for Verity Conference, which is hosted by Felicia Masonheimer, who is a Bible teacher and theologian. And I absolutely love her. This is our 3rd year attending and our 2nd year making it a family vacation. And we really love it. We have just fallen in love with this small town area. And it's always hosted in October, which is peak fall time. Petoskey and even Harbor Springs, it's like Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. It is so beautiful and so cute. And so I'm so thankful that we have the opportunity to do this and also just make it a family time as well. And then of course we're gonna have Tennessee next week, which is so fun. It's gonna be our first time being in Tennessee during fall, and I cannot wait to experience it. But of course, me being a bookworm, I have books, and I wanted to make a reading vlog filming me reading while on vacation and seeing what I read and how many books I might finish. I have my chalky milk here with me. Aldi's chocolate milk is superior. First, before going along with the reading, I'm going to share with you the books that I finished while traveling the 2-day road trip from Florida, and so that's quite a long time. And so I got one book done in the car and I started a second one and then finished it last night. So both of the books I read were on my Kindle, and both of them are on Kindle Unlimited. They are part of the American Bride novella collection by Gabriel Myers. So I read 5 and 6. So number 5 was First Comes Love, and guys, this was a 6-star read. Honestly, I loved this little book so much, and I think what also made it super special is my first favorite, which actually would be second compared to this one, is I believe it's number 3, but it's the four brides and Four Brides and a Bachelor, I believe it's called. And so the main character, female Emma, is the daughter of that couple. So that was super special because I loved that other novella. And I also did not read the synopsis for this at all, which is not like me. I usually always read synopsises of books. I just have to know before I dive into a book. But I didn't with this one. And so I was not expecting it to be set in 1800s Texas. That was so fun. Very much my vibe. There was like cowboys and horses, which I love. So I really enjoyed that aspect and just being surprised by it. So you follow Emma, and then you follow Hart, which is the main character male, so the love interest. And Hart is actually the son of like the founder. His father is like the son of the founder of this town, Hartville, Texas. And so there's 7 Hart brothers, and you follow what's his name? You just call him Hart. Is that Hayes? Hayes, I think it's Hayes. So you follow Hayes Hart, and I loved him, and and Emma were just I loved their characters, and together they were so special. In the beginning, the banter was so stinking cute. It had me giggling, and just this book, it had me giggling, had me laughing out loud, and also it was just such a good book. And both Emma and Hayes had such good character development, so I really enjoyed watching that and just seeing their love story come together. I loved it. I loved the whole like small town Texas western setting and just all the characters, and it was just so special. And this is definitely my number 1 of the series so far. And then I read number 6, which, let me pull up the cover for you. And number 6 was The Ranger's Reward, and this is also in 1800s Texas, also near Hartville, so that was really cool. Oh, actually, going back, let me back up a little bit. The First Comes Love, that's actually a novella in a novella collection that has already been published, and other authors contributed on it. So First Comes Love was Gabriel Myers from that collection. So there's a whole collection following each heart brother and their love story, and I am so looking forward to finding that and reading it, because I would love to read all of their stories. And I also think there's probably something happening with their paw in the book, because it kind of seemed like that in First Comes Love, so I need to know. And it'd just be so cute to just see all of them interacting and all of their love stories. Anyway, The Ranger's Reward. This was a 5-star. This one was also super good. This had so much depth in such a short book as well. And so in this one, you start out and you're following Griff Summers, and he is a new ranger of this company, so he's very new to it. And he wanted to become a ranger because when he was little, his dad was a Texas Ranger who was shot and killed on duty hunting this leader of a gang, and called the Markham gang. And so obviously that was devastating, with him being a little boy and losing his father like that. And his mom would tell him these stories of his father and how heroic he was. And she remarried, and so then his stepdad like squashed all of that and said that it was a lie, and his dad was not heroic or a hero or anything. So he wanted to become a ranger to hunt this gang and talk to the guy that killed his father and discover for himself if his father was actually a hero or a coward. So you kind of start out with that, and he's given the menial task of going to check on this widow, and he's assuming it's going to be like this old widow. And he goes there, and it's actually this pretty young widow who has a son. And while he's there checking on them, these outlaws just come on up on their horses and demands to have like basically refuge there, and for Melanie to help heal one of their wounded members of their gang. And of course, Griff can't like just come out and say he's a ranger, because he's like, he has no help and they took his gun off of him. And so there's that. And then Melanie and Griff are pretending to be married, and it just goes from there. So they're in forced close proximity under extreme pressure, being held hostage by gang outlaws, and it was just so good. Melanie's character was so fun because she's like this firecracker, strong-willed, independent woman who also has a lot of like insecurities and hurt behind her. And so I just really loved her character, and is very unique so far from the collection. And of course Griff was amazing, and like him just being this guy that was there to protect them and being this new man that Melanie has never experienced before, someone who's actually caring and thoughtful and strong. And I just really loved that aspect of it, and him being like the protector. And then him and her son Harrison got really close, and it was just so cute. But then of course you also have like the heaviness of them being held hostage, and just like what's gonna happen and how's it all gonna play out. And also like, did his dad die a coward or a hero? And so all of that in like 100-something pages, and it was really well written, and I loved it. I just love this collection so much. And I only have 2 more, but I'm gonna save, actually I don't know if the 8th one is out yet. I know the 7th one is, but I'm gonna save it for the road trip back home. Those are the books I've read so far on the trip. Absolutely love them. But now I'm ready for a Jamie Jo Wright book. I brought 3 with me. Jamie Jo Wright is the queen of romantic suspense, and her books are perfect for fall and autumnal vibes. They're all like creepy suspense with some romance in them. I have The Curse of Misty Wayfair, The Souls of Lost Lake, and Spectres in the Glass House, which is her recent release. And this is actually set during October. But I think I'm probably gonna go with this one first, because I really want to read this one. It's one of her older ones. It came out in 2019, and this just sounds so good. I'm gonna read the back for all of you. Left at an orphanage as a child, Thea Reed vowed to find her mother someday. Now grown, her search takes her to turn-of-the-century Pleasant Valley, Wisconsin. When the clues she finds lead her to a mental asylum, Thea uses her experience as a post-mortem photographer to gain access and assist groundskeeper Simon Coyle in photographing the patients and uncovering the secrets within. However, she never expected her personal guest would reawaken the legend of Misty Wayfair, a murdered woman who allegedly haunts the area and whose appearance portends death. A century later, Heidi Lane receives a troubling letter from her mother, who is battling dementia, compelling her to travel to Pleasant Valley for answers to her own questions of identity. When she catches sight of a ghostly woman haunting the asylum ruins in the woods, the long-standing story of Misty Wayfarer returns, and with it, Heidi's fear for her own life. As two women across time seek answers about their identities and heritage, they must overcome the threat of the mysterious curse that has them inextricably intertwined. Okay, so the asylum and the post-mortem photography has me so like intrigued, and I just need to know. This sounds perfect for fall and is reading in a cute small town. And also the house that we stay in is actually an older house. I think it was built 1900s, possibly late 1800s. I'm not quite sure, but it is an old house, and there's actually a carriage house out there, so it's older, so it's just like cute to like cuddle up in here and read a creepy book. But also her books always have redemption in them, and it's actually never really a real ghost. She always explains it, but you never know how she's gonna explain it and how it's gonna work. So I just love her books. They're such a fun time. This also Lost Lake is very second, and I would love to pick this up soon too. Both of these for fall, but Curse and Misty Wayfarer is calling my name. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my pajamas, get all cozy, and start reading it tonight. Hello, I have a reading update. It's been a couple days and I'm on page 137. I kind of have mixed emotions about this book. I really don't know. I kind of feel unsettled, but maybe that's the point of the book. Let me explain some of what's happening. So in the past timeline in early 1900s, you follow Thea Reed, and she's an orphan. She has very vague memories when she was younger of her mother, and then that's it. And then she goes to an orphanage, and because she's kind of adopted, I'm not really sure, from this couple who are traveling photographers, and she's raised by them. And the guy is kind of very superstitious, believes in ghosts, and then the woman believes in God, but she was very like kind of like a doomsday believer, sort of. So Thea now is trying to figure out, trying to find her mother basically, but just kind of find out about her. And Thea very much doesn't really have her identity. She's not sure of who she is because of her mom and being an orphan, and she's also like has no hope of anything. Like she really doesn't know what to believe at all, because she's raised by very different beliefs, and she's just like kind of like she doesn't know, she doesn't have any hope, and she's just kind of a loner. And she ends up in Pleasant Valley. Search for her mother takes her to Pleasant Valley, and so there she's working for this photographer, and she's also like a traveling photographer, and she mainly focuses on post-mortem photography. But there's like a correct term for that. Like there's like this certain photography they used to do back then, where like when your family member died, you would take a photo with that person, kind of like they were still alive as a last memory. There's a correct term, it's in the book, but I don't know it right now. So yeah, I definitely didn't very much feel for Thea so far out of the two characters. And she just now stumbled across the asylum, and yeah. And then you have present timeline, and you're following Heidi, and her family moved to Pleasant Valley years ago, but she kind of fell away from her family because her family are believers, but they're very legalistic and very judgmental towards Heidi because she's kind of like the black sheep, if you will, of the family, and with just like always messing up and stuff like that. But obviously her family's legalistic, so it's very easy to mess up in their eyes, and so she just had to get away from that. And then now her mother has dementia and sent her a very interesting letter. I still have not fully gotten the information on what was in the letter, but made Heidi want to come and try to get the answers. And of course there's this whole mystery of Misty Wayfarer. Misty Wayfarer is actually a woman. It's a legend. I thought Misty Wayfarer was like going to be like the asylum, but it's not. It's a legend of a woman, but I'm assuming she's somehow connected to the asylum. And there's like this whole like family thing of the Coils and the Kramers that's more in the past timeline, but it, of course, I don't know. Yeah, there's like a lot, and definitely wanting the answers and wanting to know what the mystery is because I cannot pinpoint it. But yeah, so far in the present timeline, I'm pretty sure the romantic interest is Rhett, and I don't like Rhett. He's kind of really rude. I don't know if Jamie's trying to do like a Luke from Gilmore Girls kind of thing, but right now it's a fail in my opinion, and he's just like really rude. But maybe he will be redeemed later on in the book. We will see. And then there is autism awareness in this book. In the present timeline, a girl from one of the families in the town has autism, and I think that's really cool. And Heidi also does struggle with very strong anxiety. That's one of the reasons why her family is kind of like judgmental of her, because they think she needs to have more faith. So that kind of gives you the idea of what that is like. So I'm really liking the awareness of anxiety into, because I can definitely understand that. And yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. I'm just hoping to start to get some more answers, because I don't know. It's really, I've never felt this way about her books, but I think maybe that might be the point, is because they are kind of just like eerie, and that's kind of what I feel as I'm reading the book. I'm just like, why is her family so judgmental, and like this poor girl is like all alone, and it's interesting so far. But I'm definitely looking forward to reading the rest of the book and discovering more about the asylum. We're just now getting to the asylum, like don't even really know much about it yet. Thea's just stumbled across it, and of course Heidi's just now heard about it, and so we're not even fully into all of that yet. And that's all I have to update you guys on. We'll see. We leave tomorrow for Tennessee, so we'll see how much reading I get done it tonight, but hopefully I'll get some reading done in the car tomorrow.